Write a YouTube news-style script for a channel called XRP Macro based on the article headline, XRP has not traded above $2 since January, with main bold headings at the start as voice. Then the script below. The script must be in simple US English and should start the speech with a proper welcome line that includes the channel name. The content should be fully engaging and natural. Keep it natural, exciting, and informative while avoiding robotic or repetitive phrasing. The script should include a minimum of 15 paragraphs, each with at least 150 words, and it must not use any section titles or breaks. It should flow like one continuous news segment. No extra headings, no meta comments, no explanations. Start the response immediately with the script only. Now I am providing my own transcript below. Please rewrite it using the same headline and structure above. Keep the original tone, emotion, and YouTube-friendly style exactly the same. Improve flow, grammar, and sentence clarity without making it sound robotic or scripted. Add polish while still sounding like a real host is talking naturally. My transcript starts here. Apna complete article with headline Yahan paste Karin without images. The chances of the Clarity Act passing this year are now 50-50. Here's the most likely scenario for the crypto market in 2026. Alex Karkidi, The Motley Fool. Monday, July 6th, 2026 at 4:20 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time plus 5 minutes. Read NVDA. The odds of Congress passing the crypto regulation bill, the Clarity Act, are down to a coin toss. The bill would distinguish digital commodities and securities, and its fate will likely be decided in the next few weeks. When that happens, it will probably determine whether the crypto bear market ends this year or extends into 2027. Let's game out a couple of scenarios to describe what could happen. Missed Nvidia in 2009. This rare signal is flashing again. In 2009, a double-down signal flashed for a little-known chip maker called Nvidia. For the first time in years, that same total conviction signal is flashing for a company 1/100th the size of Nvidia. Continue. A Bitcoin symbol rests near a judge's gavel. Image source, Getty Images. What the bill does. Though they're much clearer than in yesteryear, US crypto rules today are a patchwork of enforcement actions and interpretive releases that a future administration could rewrite on a whim. The Clarity Act would create a framework and make it into statute, sorting tokens into 3 buckets: digital commodities like Bitcoin, crypto, BTC, and Ethereum, crypto, ETH, to be regulated by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC. Fundraising tokens to be regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and payment stablecoins to be overseen by banking regulators. Codifying those distinctions is the difference between whether a bank can custody an asset or whether it's too risky to touch from a compliance standpoint. The House cleared its version of the bill last July, and the Senate Banking Committee advanced its version on May 14th. If it isn't passed before the August recess, the path to passing it at all this year narrows to September and then to right after the midterms. There are 2 paths here. If the bill passes, expect a short-lived pop in crypto majors, followed by a much longer tailwind as a result of financial institutions onboarding more of their capital to blockchains and integrating more of their systems and activities with the crypto sector. The crypto bear market might even end overnight. In particular, real-world asset (RWA) tokenization, the process of putting treasuries, private credit, stocks, and many other types of asset on a blockchain as a crypto token for the purpose of trading or management, has grown from about $12 billion in early July 2025 to nearly $32 billion today, all without a federal statute. Give institutional allocators that statute, and there will likely be big inflows to the chains that are already leaders in tokenized assets like Ethereum, Solana, Crypto, SOL, and XRP, Crypto, XRP, among others. The inflows will likely coincide with the minting and onboarding of more stablecoin capital, which could then serve to stimulate the ecosystems of those leaders even further. XRP, Crypto, XRP, is a favorite play among investors looking to get rich, but it probably shouldn't be. Given its market cap of $62 billion and its price of $1.04, Turning a $10,000 stake in XRP into 7 figures of wealth would require the coin to reach roughly $104, putting its market cap above $6 trillion. That's larger than the combined market cap of every other cryptocurrency, and it almost certainly won't happen. So, with that in mind, let's turn to a more realistic question, namely whether XRP could still be a good tool for long-term wealth building. Missed Nvidia in 2009. This rare signal is flashing. Again. In 2009, a double-down signal flashed for a little-known chipmaker called Nvidia. For the first time in years, that same total conviction signal is flashing for a company 1/100th the size of Nvidia. Continue. The mechanics for getting a return aren't great here. As you probably know, transactions on the XRP ledger, XRPL, burn a sliver of XRP for every transaction as a fee. About 14 million XRP have been destroyed in this way since the chain's launch in 2012, or about 0.014% of its maximum supply as of Q1 2026. Unfortunately, that mechanism is nearly the entirety of XRP's ability to capture value for its holders. The only other mechanism is by the network's reserve requirements, which necessitate each wallet address holding at least 1 XRP plus 0.2 XRP more for each object held in the wallet. That makes it very hard to believe that there will ever be enough users or activity on the XRPL to meaningfully reduce the asset's float and force its price up for those who hold XRP. Nonetheless, activity on the chain is growing. Tokenized real-world asset, RWA, value rose 124% quarter-over-quarter in Q1 of 2026, and the volume of daily transactions is currently near 2.5 million. None of that constrains the coin's supply, even if it's a positive development for the chain's health. Even a 100-fold activity surge would burn under 0.25% of the supply yearly, and Ripple, XRP's issuer, unlocks 1 billion XRP from escrow each month. Even after relocking 60% to 80% of the XRP released, the net supply addition still swamps the cumulative burns. So why hold any? So, at the moment, there isn't a strong case for holding XRP for wealth building, nor is it a millionaire maker, but it could still gain in value if, on average, investors overlook its tokenomics issues, and there is at least a little bit of evidence that's happening. Spot XRP exchange-traded funds, ETFs, have pulled in $1.4 billion since their November 2025 launch, and, surprisingly, despite the ongoing crypto bear market, the ETFs have continued to see net capital inflows over time, rather than outflows. If that trend continues, it could eventually support higher prices. Write a YouTube news-style script for a channel called XRP Macro based on the article headline, XRP has not traded above $2. Since January, with main bold headings at the start as voice, then the script below. The script must be in simple US English and should start the speech with a proper welcome line that includes the channel name. The content should be fully engaging and natural. Keep it natural, exciting, and informative, while avoiding robotic or repetitive phrasing. The script should include a minimum of 15 paragraphs, each with at least 150 words, and it must not use any section titles or breaks. It should flow like one continuous news segment. No extra headings, no meta comments, no explanations. Start the response immediately with the script only. Now I am providing my own transcript below. Please rewrite it using the same headline and structure above. Keep the original tone, emotion, and YouTube-friendly style exactly the same. Improve flow, grammar, and sentence clarity without making it sound robotic or scripted. Add polish while still sounding like a real host is talking naturally. Ripple gains full MiCA. Approval in boost for EU crypto. In other crypto news today, Ripple has gained a significant regulatory advantage in Europe by achieving full compliance with the markets in crypto assets at MiCA framework. However, in the short term, XRP's price movements are predominantly influenced by Bitcoin rather than by its own fundamental factors. The most notable development is Ripple's full compliance with the EU's MiCA regulations. This compliance allows the company to offer regulated crypto services across the European Economic Area, EEA, under a unified licensing framework, greatly enhancing Ripple's position in one of the world's most important digital asset markets. Despite this positive regulatory milestone, XRP remains highly dependent on Bitcoin's performance. This dependency was evident when reports emerged that Strategy sold 3,588 BTC. Following this news, Bitcoin's price dropped by more than 3.7%, negatively impacting most major altcoins, including XRP. This situation underscores that, in the short term, XRP's performance is more closely tied to Bitcoin's direction than its own fundamentals. As long as Bitcoin is under pressure, the upside potential for most altcoins, including XRP, is likely to remain limited, regardless of any positive news specific to the projects themselves. Ripple secures full MiCA license. In Europe, Ripple has received its full crypto asset service provider license from Luxembourg's CSSF. In crypto news today, July 7th, Bitcoin has surged, sitting comfortably above $63,000 and up plus 0.7% in the past 24 hours. Liquidations have picked up, with over $532 million in positions blown up since yesterday, and interestingly, the split is almost 50-50 between longs and shorts. Yesterday saw a second consecutive day of positive ETF flows for Bitcoin, a metric that is helping the market in its recent rally. Over $265 million BTC was bought via ETFs yesterday, with over $200 million of that figure coming from BlackRock's IBIT after selling nearly $10 billion over the past 10 sessions. While nearly every major cap token is currently in the green over the past 24 hours, BNB and XRP are two of the more notable projects in the red today, each down around minus 0.5%. Daily trading volume has dropped over the past 24 hours, going from $94 billion yesterday to $82 billion today. The Fear and Greed Index is beginning to reflect the cautious optimism returning to the markets, sitting at 27 over 100, up from 24 over 100 yesterday, and more importantly, going from extreme fear to just fear. Write a YouTube news-style script for a channel called XRP Macro based on the article headline, XRP has not traded above $2. Since January, with main bold headings at the start as voice, then the script below. The script must be in simple US English and should start the speech with a proper welcome line that includes the channel name. The content should be fully engaging and natural. Keep it natural, exciting, and informative while avoiding robotic or repetitive phrasing. The script should include a minimum of 15 paragraphs, each with at least 150 words, and it must not use any section titles or breaks. It should flow like one continuous news segment. No extra headings, no meta comments, no explanations. Start the response immediately with the script only. In XRP news today, withdrawal transactions on Binance accounted for 53.8% of total XRP transaction activity over a 7-day rolling period ending June 23, 2026, the highest reading since June 2024, according to CryptoQuant, the on-chain analytics platform. That streak of 7 consecutive days where XRP withdrawals outpaced deposits landed against a backdrop of XRP trading near $1.10, close to recent lows, and a news cycle dominated by MoneyGram choosing Stellar for its new stablecoin. The two storylines are colliding in the XRP community discussion, but they tell different stories. One is a behavioral signal in the exchange flow data. The other is a narrative wound with roots going back years, not days. XRP news. What the Binance withdrawal data actually says. The CryptoQuant metric tracking exchange flows on Binance measures the frequency of withdrawals versus deposits rather than the raw dollar value of XRP moved. A rise in withdrawal transactions indicates more individual withdrawals than deposits, often reflecting holders moving XRP to cold storage or ETF custody rather than a single outflow event. Deposits on Binance dropped to 46.1% of total XRP activity, the lowest level since 2024, creating a 7.7 percentage point divergence. Between June 3rd and June 14th, about 722 million XRP left exchanges, with approximately 425 million from Binance. CryptoQuant data from early 2026 linked ongoing exchange outflows to XRP ETF net inflows, which had absorbed around $1.4 billion by March 2026, indicating institutional accumulation. CryptoQuant analysts advise that the withdrawal dominance reading should not be seen as a direct buy or sell signal. The data suggests a gradual supply removal rather than panic selling, indicating a quiet supply squeeze rather than abrupt market moves. For detailed mechanics on ETF inflows and their impact on XRP's market structure, additional analysis is available. Source: CoinGlass. Discover: Best Meme Coin ICOs to invest in 2026. MoneyGram chose Stellar, but the Ripple breakup happened in 2021. MoneyGram launched MGUSD, a dollar-pegged stablecoin, on the Stellar blockchain in June 2026. Utilizing Stripe's bridge platform for issuance, M0 smart contracts for the token layer, and Fireblocks for wallet management, the non-custodial wallet is integrated into the MoneyGram app. This allows users to easily transfer dollars across Stellar and convert them to local currency at approximately 500,000 physical locations. Contrary to reports, this move does not represent a shift from Ripple to Stellar. MoneyGram and Ripple partnered between 2019 and 2021, with Ripple investing around $50 million and using its on-demand liquidity service. However, as Ripple's legal issues escalated, MoneyGram ceased using this service, and by 2026, XRP had not been part of its transactions for years. MoneyGram's launch of MGUSD on Stellar builds on its existing service, MoneyGram Access, which facilitated cash to USDC transfers on Stellar. This is an extension of the company's infrastructure, not a new direction. The relationship is symbolic considering Stellar's co-founder, Jed McCaleb, previously co-founded Ripple, and both networks have long targeted the same cross-border settlement space. Ultimately, this impacts the narrative rather than any current revenue stream. The bigger threat is the stablecoin model itself. XRP is unaffected by the launch of MGUSD on Stellar, as it already saw no flow from MoneyGram. The real threat to Ripple lies in MoneyGram issuing its own USD-backed stablecoin. This enables it to capture reserves that earn yield, incentivizing payment firms to favor its dollar rail over bridge assets. Ripple is not idle, as it is developing its own dollar stablecoin, RLUSD, and forming partnerships such as one with Flutterwave for Africa. The US regulatory framework has made launching compliant stablecoins a viable option for payment firms. While XLM benefits from MGUSD's visibility, the true advantage lies in the stablecoin structure rather than any specific bridge token. For XRP holders, the focus should be on accumulation trends, as the impact of proprietary stablecoins on the broader bridge token narrative and new institutional partnerships remains to be seen. Explore: Best crypto pre-sales with asymmetric upside in the current market. Follow 99 Bitcoins on X for the latest market updates and subscribe on YouTube for daily expert market analysis. The post-Binance XRP outflows signal accumulation. While MoneyGram's stellar move is old news, appeared first on 99 Bitcoins.